MKG has the hottest motor I've ever seen in college basketball.
Whereas Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is going to change positions, be more of a perimeter-oriented player. He's a great competitor.
But MKG can win games for you. He can defend, he can rebound, he can get to the basket. He's wily, he's tough. There's just some mentality I like about him. He's just a winner.
With the second pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Bobcats select Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
The 2012 Kentucky Wildcats were absolutely loaded. 6 players from that team were drafted that year, with 4 going in the first round. Anthony Davis led the way as the overall number 1 pick, but Michael Kidd-Gilchrist was right there at number 2. Things started quite well for MKG in the NBA, but unfortunately, things took a nosedive. And fast forward to 2024, Kidd-Gilchrist has been out of the NBA for more than 3 years. So what exactly happened to MKG? Why didn't we get to really witness his talents? And what made him a bust? Here's exactly how it all went down. It seemed quite strange to me because Michael Kidd-Gilchrist was a defensive-oriented player, and a good one at that, debuting in the NBA only about a month after his 19th birthday. So a very long and bright future in the league was certainly in the cards, or so we thought. I mean, if you're only remembered for being that one with the funkiest-looking form ever, you know it was bad. But before we get there, we'll have to understand how it all started. Born and raised in Philadelphia, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist grew up in New Jersey, and he faced early adversity, losing his father before he even turned 3. I mean, this can take a huge toll on just about anybody. However, it didn't deter Kidd-Gilchrist from becoming one of the most promising basketball talents in the country. His high school career at St. Patrick High School in Elizabeth, New Jersey was nothing short of spectacular. Playing alongside Kyrie Irving, Kidd-Gilchrist showcased his skills, averaging an impressive 20 points and 11 rebounds per game. St. Patrick High School had a phenomenal run, which ended in an undefeated season until the New Jersey State Championship. His talents on the court, of course, didn't go unnoticed. Aside from the numerous awards and accolades, he was ranked as the 3rd best player by ESPN.com and Rivals.com. He also secured a gold medal with the FIBA U17 World Championships team in 2010, and also was McDonald's All-American Game co-MVP, Mr. Basketball USA, and a member of the USA Today All-USA First Team. Insane, right? After a highly successful high school career, Kidd-Gilchrist committed to the University of Kentucky in 2010. The 2011-12 season marked his debut as a Wildcat, and he made an immediate impact, scoring 15 points in his first game and leading the team in scoring with 17 points and 11 rebounds against 5th-ranked North Carolina. The NCAA tournament that season was dominated by the Kentucky Wildcats, with Kidd-Gilchrist playing a crucial role. Despite playing alongside future NBA star Anthony Davis, Kidd-Gilchrist didn't fade into the background. Averaging nearly 12 points and 7 rebounds, he played a pivotal role in Kentucky's championship run. Kentucky also lost just twice all season, and his standout performances in the tournament, including a 24-point 10-rebound game against Baylor and a 19.5 rebound game against Indiana in the Final Four, earned him a spot on the NCAA Final Four All-Tournament team. His dynamic playing style, marked by an energetic approach and very tenacious defense, caught the eye of NBA scouts, and it certainly wouldn't take long for him to be drafted. Picked 2nd overall in the 2012 NBA Draft by the Charlotte Bobcats, who later changed to the Hornets, Kidd-Gilchrist entered the league with very high expectations. I mean, being the 2nd pick overall isn't a small feat. The early signs were promising. In just his 5th NBA game, he displayed his potential with an impressive 25-point, 12-rebound performance in a historic win over the Dallas Mavericks. Notably, this victory ended a 16-game losing streak. Remember, he was drafted to arguably the worst team ever. The Bobcats won 7 games the year before and were nightly Shaqtin' a Fool candidates. MKG's rookie season was punctuated with another 25-point, 12-rebound game against the Phoenix Suns, making him only the second player in NBA history to achieve this twice before turning 20. The future seemed bright for Kidd-Gilchrist as he earned a spot on the NBA All-Rookie second team in 2013. Unfortunately, instead of progressing further, it was quite the opposite for MKG. Injuries casted a looming shadow over Kidd-Gilchrist's career. See, in the 2013-14 season, he missed 19 games mid-season due to injury, a sign of the challenges that would persist. However, the offseason leading into the 2014-15 season saw Kidd-Gilchrist working with assistant coach Mark Price to redevelop his jump shot, which showed that he wanted to improve. The 2014-15 season began with Kidd-Gilchrist sidelined for 14 of the first 20 games due to rib and foot injuries. When he returned, he proved that he still got it, averaging 11.4 points and 9.4 rebounds in January 2015. Despite facing injury setbacks, Kidd-Gilchrist achieved personal bests in points 10.9 and rebounds 7.6 that season. In August 2015, the Hornets showed confidence in Kidd-Gilchrist's potential by signing him to a 4-year, $52 million contract extension. However, this investment proved to be a slap in the face for the Hornets, as in early October 2015, Kidd-Gilchrist dislocated his right shoulder in a preseason game against the Orlando Magic. This marked the beginning of a frustrating period for both Kidd-Gilchrist and the Charlotte Hornets. The shoulder injury resulted in a 4-month absence, severely impacting his defensive presence on the court. It became clear that his absence significantly impacted the team's performance, as Michael Kidd-Gilchrist was the team's best and most important player. This would be the third consecutive season in which Kidd-Gilchrist misses more games than the last. In his first 3 seasons, he's missed an average of 17 games a season. Despite his offensive limitations, Kidd-Gilchrist's defensive impact was undeniable. Looking at the Hornets' defensive stats, they conceded more points when MKG was not playing, and when he played, they were among the top 5 defensively. The following season was a chance to repay the Hornets for their faith in him, and the season opener saw him record a stellar performance with 23 points and 14 rebounds in a win over the Milwaukee Bucks, setting the tone for a season where he finished with career-best numbers in various categories. He finished with 9.2 points and 47.7% shooting, a team-high 7 rebounds, and 1.4 assists, to go along with career-best marks in free throw percentage at 78.4%, steals and blocks at 1, and turnovers at 0.7. He was one of just 13 players in the league to start at least 81 games, marking the 3rd such season by a Hornets player since the conclusion of the 2012-13 season. MKG managed to remain consistent for the Hornets at least, even though his games reduced with each passing season. As the years progressed, Kidd-Gilchrist found himself in a different role. The 2018-19 season saw him coming off the bench for the majority of the games, averaging 6.7 points and 3.8 rebounds in a career-low 18.4 minutes per contest. In June 2019, Kidd-Gilchrist underwent surgery to address a chronic groin strain, opting to pick up his $13 million player option for the 2019-20 season. However, after 7 years in Charlotte, in February 2020, the Hornets and Kidd-Gilchrist reached a contract buyout agreement, signaling the end of his time there. In all fairness, his time in Charlotte was a roller coaster of resilience, defensive brilliance, and unfulfilled offensive potential. And oh, let's not forget the constant injuries. Fans and pundits pondered on a lot of questions. What if Kidd-Gilchrist's offensive game had evolved as expected? Would Charlotte's offensive struggles have been mitigated, elevating them to new heights? What if MKG was drafted by another team that was a little bit more offensive? I mean, the Hornets weren't the most prolific going forward during his days at Charlotte, and moving there wasn't probably the best thing for him. Coming into the NBA, he had great size and length, as well as a high motor. Kidd-Gilchrist was a great defensive player, and a great rebounder for his size with the hustle. However, aside from the talents he has, he wasn't really projected to be a star in the NBA. NBA players these days are more skilled offensively and more reliant on their three-point shooting. MKG's three-point shooting has almost been non-existent over the past few seasons, and he has played his way out of the league. There were the injury problems, but that aside, it was difficult to see him becoming a star, regardless of what team selects him, because his offensive game never grew. The frustration of untapped potential was evident, and the what-ifs was asked as the Hornets bid farewell to Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. But saying goodbye to the Hornets didn't necessarily mean saying goodbye to the NBA, as MKG wanted a new chapter in his career, and the year 2020 marked a change in scenery as he joined the Dallas Mavericks on February 11th. The debut in a Mavericks jersey 2 weeks later resulted in a satisfying 122-106 victory over the Orlando Magic. However, the stint in Dallas was just a brief interlude. On the 28th of November that same year, Kidd-Gilchrist took another new turn, signing with the New York Knicks. The move brought anticipation in New York, considering his pedigree as a former number 2 overall pick. Unfortunately, circumstances didn't align in favor of Kidd-Gilchrist's Knicks venture, as he would be waived after missing the entire preseason due to an illness. So the 2019-20 NBA season served as Kidd-Gilchrist's last cameo on the court. Playing for both the Charlotte Hornets and the Dallas Mavericks, he averaged 2.4 points and 2.7 rebounds per contest in 25 regular season games. His shooting percentage stood at 33.3%, which is no surprise considering the offensive struggles that he had faced throughout his career. Kidd-Gilchrist currently finds himself at a crossroads. He entered free agency, leaving the door open for any team willing to sign him. The question now is, will he find a new home, or have the 8 seasons in Charlotte and the brief tenure in Dallas marked the end of his NBA journey? Reflecting on Kidd-Gilchrist's roller coaster career in the 2012 NBA Draft, which serves as a backdrop for these contemplations. He was picked 2nd overall alongside the likes of Anthony Davis and all-stars like Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard, Andre Drummond, Draymond Green, and Chris Middleton, all of whom are still competing in the top level, and aside from AD, they were all drafted lower than MKG. So, can we say he is a bust?